How are you guys doing? It is Friday, October 9th, 2020, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, of course, we're going to take you through yesterday's Elite matchups and, of course, what to look forward to today. With sports and with games going on in all these different sports, I'm going to take you one by one because yesterday was Thursday. I'm going to start with the NFL, and in the first game of Week 5 of the NFL, for Thursday Night Football, the Chicago Bears were able to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20-19 at the end of the game on the very last drive. Tampa Bay tried to get the win, but they weren't able to. And then in the final quarter, the Chicago Bears were able to win it on a field goal with about 1 minute 13 seconds left to give them their fourth win of the season. But looking at to how both teams played, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their GOAT quarterback Tom Brady completed 25 of his 41 passes for 253 yards and a touchdown. On the ground, Ronald Jones II ran for 106 yards on 17 carries. He also had 19 yards on 3 receptions through the air. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tyler Johnson was their leading receiver. He finished with 61 yards on 4 receptions. Their elite wide receiver, Mike Evans, would finish with 41 yards and 5 receptions and a touchdown. And Tom Brady's old running mate, Rob Gronkowski, would finish with 52 yards on 3 receptions. On the defensive side of the ball, Carlton Davis and Sean Murphy-Bunting would lead the team, both with 2 tackles each. Vita Vea, Jason Pierre-Paul would both get a sack, so William Golston. And then Carlton Davis would finish with an interception along with his team leading 7 tackles on the day. Looking at how the Chicago Bears fared, their quarterback Nick Foles would complete 30 of his 42 passes for 243 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Through the air, Allen Robinson would be their leading receiver. He had 90 yards on 10 receptions. David Montgomery had a touchdown on the ground. He finished with 29 yards and 10 carries. And Jimmy Graham finished with a touchdown. He finished with 33 yards on 3 receptions and a touchdown. On the defensive side of the ball, Danny Trevathan would lead the team and all players and tackles. He had 8 tackles on the day. And then additionally, their elite defensive end, Khalil Mack, would finish with 3 tackles on the day. He also had 2 sacks. Continuing on, with this win, the Chicago Bears are now 4-1 on the season. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are now 3-2. As of right now, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still lead their division. And continuing on, there's no games today. They don't, of course, Week 5 will not continue until Sunday, but that's how that fared. Looking out to the NBA, Game 5 of the NBA Finals will be tonight at 9 o'clock as the top seed in the West, Los Angeles Lakers, will take on the 5th seed in the East, Miami Heat. After the Heat were able to take Game 3, the Lakers have taken all the other ones, and they have a really good and they have a chance of finishing the 2019-2020 NBA season in October of 2020. But of course, that's what to look forward to tomorrow. Continuing on along the lines, looking out to the soccer performances of yesterday, because of course now we're at the international stage where a lot of these teams are playing. Looking at the FIFA World Cup qualifying round, Uruguay was able to beat Chile 2-1. Luis Suarez had a penalty kick, which was able to help them get there. Lionel Messi would score the only goal for Argentina as they beat Ecuador 1-0, as he was able to score the PK. And then looking out to today's matchups, and looking at the FIFA World Cup qualifying match from the Americas, Brazil's going to take on Bolivia at 8:30 Pacific or 8:30 p.m. And Colombia's going to play Venezuela, and Colombia with James Rodriguez is always a really fun team to watch when they're playing internationally. But that's what to look forward to today. And last but not least, taking you to the MLB, of course, for playoff baseball, taking you through each game one by one. Starting with the first game of the NLDS, the Atlanta Braves were able to took on the Miami Marlins and beat them 7-0 yesterday. The loss would go to Sixto Sanchez in the Miami Marlins. He would allow 4 runs in 3 innings pitched, striking out 2 batters on the day. Following him, it was mostly just bullpen pitchers who wouldn't really pitch more than that. Wouldn't pitch 2 innings. But continuing looking at how their offense fared, their left fielder, Corey Dickerson, would go 3 for 4 on the day as he was still unable to bring a run home. He was the only player with more than 1 hit as Aguilar finished 1 for 4 and Chisholm finished 1 for 3. They were held to 5 hits on the day and they were not able to score. For the Atlanta Braves, Kyle Wright would get the win as he allowed no earned runs in 6 innings pitched, striking out 7 batters. And with Minter, Webb, and Green pitching scoreless innings, this is the 4th shutout of of the playoffs for the Atlanta Braves, who have only played 5 games. They shut the Reds out twice. In the first game against the Marlins, they let the Marlins score, and they blanked them for 2 straight games. Great pitching performance, of course, from the entire Atlanta Braves team, and great performance from their defense. On the offensive side of the ball for the Atlanta Braves, their elite center fielder, Ronald Acuna Jr., would go 0 for 3 as he walked twice and scored twice. He also struck out. Their elite first baseman, Freddie Freeman, would go 2 for 4 with a run. Their designated hitter, Marcell Ozuna, would go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their catcher, Travis d'Arnaud, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Their elite second baseman, Ozzie Albies, would go 1 for 4 with a run as he walked once as well. Their shortstop, Dansby Swanson, would go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. And continuing on, that's how the Atlanta Braves fared. No home runs. It was basically scoreless. They scored all 7 of their runs in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th inning, and that was all the scoring that took place in the game. And with this win, the Atlanta Braves have swept the Miami Marlins. They swept the Miami Marlins 3-0, and they will get a chance to play in the National League Championship Series in Arlington. But of course, that's how that game fared. Looking out to the other National League game, because that's how we're doing this today, to face the Atlanta Braves, the Los Angeles Dodgers took on the San Diego Padres. The Dodgers were the top seed in the National League, and the Padres were the 4th seed because they were the top wild card seed. But the Dodgers, after beating the Padres 12-3, they would end up sweeping the San Diego Padres. Looking at how the Padres fared, Morejon would get the start. He would only pitch 2 innings. He was the only pitcher on the Padres that pitched more than 1 inning. He allowed 3 runs in those 2 innings and struck out 2 batters. And look at how the Dodgers fared. They scored. The Padres were up 2-1 at some point, but the Dodgers were able to score were able to score most of their runs. They scored 8 runs between the 2nd and 5th inning to go up 8-2. Padres scored a run to make it 8-3, and then of course the Dodgers scored 4 runs in the 9th to go up 12-3. But other than San Diego, looking at how their offensive fared, in their last game of the season, their elite shortstop, Fernando Tatis Jr., would go 1 for 3 with a walk. Their elite third baseman, Manny Machado, would go 1 for 4 with a run. No one on the team would finish with more than 1 hit on the day, but that's pretty much how the team fared. Great season overall for the San Diego Padres, and I'd say the same thing for the Miami Marlins, as both teams are teams that are definitely set up to shake up the playoff picture next year. Looking at how the Dodgers fared, Dustin May would get the start. He would only pitch 1 inning. He would allow no runs, striking out 1. Julio Urias would take over most of this game. He would take over 5 innings in relief. He would allow 1 hit, no earned runs, and strike out 6 batters in his 5 innings. And looking at how their offense fared, their elite right fielder, Mookie Betts, would go 1 for 3 with an RBI and 3 runs as he walked twice. Their shortstop, Corey Seager, would go 1 for 4 with a run. Their third baseman, Justin Turner, would go 1 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs. Their first baseman, Max Muncy, would go 0 for 3, but he would walk 3 times and score twice. Their catcher, Will Smith, would go 5 for 6 with 3 RBIs and a run. He had 2 doubles on the day, and he's a rookie. Great rookie performance. Their elite center fielder and former National League MVP, Cody Bellinger, would go 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run. Their left fielder, AJ Pollock, he would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs. Their designated hitter, Jock Peterson, would go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs as well, as the Dodgers were able to also add in 14 hits along with their 12 runs. And with this win, they have officially swept the San Diego Padres for a chance to face off against the Atlanta Braves. That series will not start until Monday, October 12th. And of course, this game will be played in Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. So that's, of course, how that series is going to go. Looking back to the American League Divisional Series, taking you off to the first one, and taking you out to the American League West ALDS series, the Houston Nationals were able to beat the Oakland Athletics 11-6 yesterday in order to win the series. Looking at how that game fared, looking out for Oakland, Frankie Montas would be their starter. He would allow 5 earned runs and 3.2 innings pitched, striking out 3, as the Houston Texans were able to jump on them. After the Oakland A's were up 3-0, the Astros were able to jump up 5-3 on them, and they scored 2 runs over the next 3 innings, and they eventually ended up winning 11-6. But looking out once again to Oakland, after Montas, it was all mainly bullpen pitching. Wendell King gave up 2 runs and only registered one out. Not much going for them as well, but looking at how their offense fared, their shortstop Marcus Semien will go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their second baseman Tommy Lasella will go 2 for 5 with an RBI in his last game of the season. Their center fielder Ramon Laureano will go 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 2 runs. He had 2 home runs in the game. There's only 2 home runs in the series. And their left fielder Robbie Grossman will go 2 for 4 with a run on the day. And continuing on, looking at how the Houston Astros fared, Zach Greinke will get the start. He would allow 4 earned runs in 4.2 innings pitched, striking out 4. And then the win, of course, would be given to Christian Javier in relief as he pitched 2.1 innings pitched, allowing no earned runs and striking out 4. On the offensive side of the ball, their center fielder George Springer would go 1 for 5 on the day. Their elite second baseman Jose Altuve would go 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 3 runs on the day as he hit his second home run of the series. Their designated hitter Michael Brantley would go 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs and 3 runs as he hit 2 home runs of the day yesterday. Their third baseman, Alex Bregman, would go 2 for 4. Their elite third baseman, Alex Bregman, would go 2 for 4 with 2 runs. Their left fielder, Kyle Tucker, would go 3 for 5 with an RBI and a run as he had a really, really good game. Their shortstop, Carlos Correa, would go 3 for 4 with 5 RBIs and a run as he hit his third home run of the season. That's how they fared. With this win, they now win this series 3-1, and they will go on and face off against the winner of the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays, of course, in the American League Championship Series. But that's how they're going to advance. And looking out to the last series, and like I just mentioned, the 2 teams from the AL East that made the playoffs, the top seed Tampa Bay Rays and the 5th seed New York Yankees, faced off yesterday in Game 4. And this time the New York Yankees were able to beat the Rays 5-1 to keep their playoff hopes alive. Looking at how this game fared for the Rays, the starting pitcher would be Ryan Thompson. He would allow 2 earned runs in 1.2 innings pitched, striking out 3. Their starting pitcher, Ryan Yarbrough, would pick up a good amount of the slack in relief. He would allow 2 earned runs over 5 innings pitched, striking out only 1 batter on the day. And how their offense fared, no one on their team was able to get more than 1 hit. Kiermaier, Choi and Diaz were the only players that were able to get registered hits. The only RBI would go to Brandon Lau, the second baseman. The Yankees were up 2-0 in the second inning. The Rays would score 1, and then the Yankees scored 2 in the 6th and 1 in the 8th to kind of just keep their lead because the Yankees basically led the whole game. Looking at how the Yankees fared, the starting pitcher would end up being Jordan Montgomery. He would allow 1 earned run in 4 innings pitched, striking out 4 batters. And then Aroldis Chapman will get the save. He pitched over 1 inning, striking out 2 batters. While 2 of his 4 outs were strikeouts. And looking at their offense fared, their second baseman, DJ LeMahieu, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI. Of course, same player that won the batting title in the American League this year. Their elite right fielder, Aaron Judge, would go 0 for 4 with a walk and a strikeout. Their elite designated hitter Giancarlo Stanton would go 1 for 4 as he struck out twice. Their first baseman, Luke Voit, would go 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his first home run of the series. Continuing on, their left fielder, Brett Gardner, would go 2 for 3 with 2 runs on the day. Their elite shortstop, Gleyber Torres, would go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his first home run of the series. And then their catcher, Kyle Higashioka, will go 2 for 4 with an RBI. And with this one, like I said, the Yankees keep this series alive as this game will go to a Game 5, which will be played tomorrow. And looking at how that's going to look out, they're gonna play today at 7:10 in Petco Park. As the Rays are officially going to be the home team. It'll be Garrett Cole making the start for New York. It'll be Tyler Glasnow making the start for Tampa Bay. And that's kind of how it's looking. At the beginning of yesterday, there were 8 teams remaining, and as of right now, only 5 teams remain. And by the end of the day, 4 teams will remain, and we will be ready for our championship series. And looking out to how that's going to play out, the ALCS will start first, and of course, they'll play on Sunday. And their series is going to take place at Petco Park in San Diego. And after the Braves and Dodgers swept their series, they're going to face off on Monday in Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Of course, for their game. So that's how baseball is going to look like. Not much action until Sunday with over today and tomorrow. But with that said, it is Friday, October 9th, 2020 out here in this quarantine. I want to thank you all once again for listening to all 14 minutes of this piece. And I wish everyone well. And thanks for listening to my piece, and peace out.